Hey, welcome back to another Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 496 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Let's get with some DC updates. First of all, Luis Fernando has reported that there's a new trailer confirming a PG-12 rating. Warner Brothers #Japan released a competition giving away 30 pairs of tickets for girls only preview of Birds of Prey in Japan on the 3rd of March, 17 days before release. Birds of Prey is also being called Harley Quinn movie. And we have a trailer here. Nothing much to see here, only that on the bottom it does indeed say PG-12 right down here, and guess that says Harley Quinn right there. So, but it still says Birds of Prey in English. But it just kind of really goes to show Warner Brothers is getting desperate here. They need this thing to make a little bit more money, right? And unfortunately, it's kind of too late for the world, but they're doing it for Japan. They're making a PG-12. They're doing a competitions to get girls excited to watch this movie, and for them to go out in theaters, not just adults, girls now. So they should have done this for the movie, but for the world, right? For everything from the start, even calling it Harley Quinn probably, and for them actually doing this, it does goes to show you that Warner Brothers does have concerns. If they didn't have any concerns about the box office, if they were confident, if they were proud of the numbers, they wouldn't be doing this, right? Look at it that way. They wouldn't be changing the name in the theaters to called Harley Quinn. In fact, the movie itself in Japan is called Harley Quinn, and they're doing 30 pairs of tickets for girls only. They're doing a PG-12 rating. This just smells of they really trying hard to get that box office number up, at least in Japan. It's going to be quite difficult because the coronavirus is looming in Asia, hitting China hard, now Korea and possibly Japan as well. So it's going to be very difficult for girls to get into theaters to watch this movie. But it does show that they're really trying hard. They're really trying hard to get this thing going, and I like to say they should have done it from the start, right? But then you get into conversations like, what should they have done from the start? Is it going against the creative, artistic and creative integrities of the movie if they're not allowing an R-rated rating? You know how Scott Derrickson left Doctor Strange over creative differences between him and Kevin Feige, things like that. Are we insinuating that they should do that? Well, it's hard to say because, yes, I mean, it was an R rating, but which had a lot of just profanity in it. The violence was there, but it just wasn't. They could have done it PG-13 at that point, right? If you're going R-rated, it should have been really R-rated. Should have got to the point where that you see a lot of breaking of knees and things like that, but not to the point of like John Wick, right? John Wick 2, 3, that level of bloody violence, right? There was enough there, but not in, they could have got away pretty much with a PG-13, right? And then they could have got girls, they could have got kids going to the movies, they could have brought out toys for it, right? As a company, as Warner Brothers, I think and I understand the point of trying to be PG-13. I understand the point of toys and things like that. I mean, I'm all for Power Rangers and Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, and all they do is try to sell toys. And that's why every single change form, they have different forms, different colors, different gadgets and stuff like that. I totally understand that. And as a company, as Warner Brothers, they should have really thought about that a little bit. But, they tried it, right? They tried the creative route saying, okay, you know what? Let's just let the director do whatever they want. Let's let that production company kind of fill up the marketing as all they want, and that's fine. And this is where we landed up. And I don't know. I can't pinpoint a certain thing on anything. I'm not sure if anybody in Birds of Prey camp is entirely happy with it. I've got to think that Kathy Ann is pretty happy with the product that she got, but possibly the studio is not happy with the numbers. And so it does kind of show that maybe there's some working together, but not entirely. Like, I get Kathy Ann to make her movie, and I believe she did, and I hope she got to make the movie that she really is proud of and happy about, and every indication she is happy about that, right? But I don't think the marketing backed her up that much, and I don't think what they did with it really grew out that much. And I think at that point, I think they really should have came and talked a little bit about maybe that rating, right? And it doesn't matter because Joker was rated R and not Suicide Squad. Joker was rated R, Deadpool was rated R. You could almost say, well, Joker never had toys, right? And Deadpool, I think Deadpool had toys, so that's different as well. So they did have something to do with that as well. But I guess who are they marketing it for? I think a lot of these comic book people are mostly men. I think mostly dudes are the one that go out to watch comic book movies, with a large, huge number of women as well, right? And I don't know if that would have mattered either, because I went going in as a comic book movie, right? But I know that what they were almost trying to do for this movie is to market, to get girls be proud of who they are, to go in and say, I'm going to watch something that means a lot to me. And that is fine. I think that is great. But with the R rating, if they were going to do that, that R rating shuts off a lot of that, right? And so what they're doing now in Japan is actually a good thing. I wish they had done it for the entirety of it, right? Because they kind of put that, girls got to be, and there is a girl in the movie, right? If they were wanting to do that, if they were making the movie for that, then they should have just went all the way, right? Telling, hey, let's tone it down a little bit so we can get that PG-13 rating for the teenagers out there, for the girls who are trying to get to. Says it's great to be. I know it's not great to be Harley Quinn, but it's to be that, have a comic book kind of mindset with that, to relate to something, right? And I know that's one of the biggest things out of, you see all the hot topics and all that kind of stuff. They really related to Harley Quinn, even Jared Leto Joker during time of Suicide Squad, and a lot of people say that kind of brought the numbers up. So girls went to go see that, but they couldn't go see this, right? They couldn't convince their parents to take them over to see Birds of Prey, and so maybe that kind of like collapsed it as well. So my thing, no one's listening to this in any fashion from the studio, but I think it would have been kind of cool to got that PG-13 rating out and then let Kathy Yan release an R-rated rating, like for the Blu-ray and digital and DVD, so that they both can have their cake and eat it too. And both has to be approved by Kathy Yan. So I think that conversation should have been done with in terms of marketing and with the filmmakers and stuff like that, because there's something that was missing with this formula, and that's why it's not doing so well. And the studio is resorted to trying to get it to push it up a little bit more in Japan. So unfortunately for that, it's like they should have done it from the beginning. But hey, you know what? We'll see what happens. The Suicide Squad is coming out. That also has Harley Quinn in it. Along with it, any other, heroes and villains in that one. And well, let's see. I hope they make Gotham City Sirens. I think there's a lot of potential there for all of these characters to continue on in this DCEU, whether it be spin-offs on Warner Max or however they want to see fit. But there is potential there. They just got to kind of talk to marketing a little bit and try to figure out a way to get this wide release and stuff, and get it there, right? And so, like I said, for those that say that Warner Bros. Is totally proud, all this this things thrown at the box office numbers is not is not it's not we're doing it injustice by saying that and stuff like that. The news says itself. The things, the actions that Warner Brothers is saying itself. They're calling it. They're telling us that it's not doing good, and they have to do something to make it better. So their actions speaks for themselves. So, in any case, that's Harley Quinn movie. I'm going to call it Harley Quinn movie, Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. All right. Well, this thing kind of came out, and I thought it was kind of interesting. And let's see if I don't know if it's playing here. I'll let you hear this first. So apparently, I think this was either at the Brazil Comic or some kind of Comic Con, or I don't think it's a press junket yet. I could be wrong, but they're talking about Wonder Woman 1984. You got Gal here, you got Patty Jenkins on the left side, and someone. We don't have recording of what the fan asked, like what was asked of Gal. In the context of this, it has to do with Justice League and possibly the Snyder Cut. But take a listen.
Justice League is a very controversial film that we won't talk about, today. We are following the path of.
So that was Gal reacting interestingly to a question. We don't know what they asked. We assume it's the Snyder Cut. Patty Jenkins comes in and says, we're not going to talk about the Justice League. It's a very controversial film. Now, I can totally see this as her kind of just trying to change the subject, because it is a very sticky situation. And I believe if this was the BrazilCon, this is before a lot of things have happened and transpired, or around the time. So it's very controversial. And also, she's at a Wonder Woman 84 panel. I'm gonna guess it's not the first time they've been asked that, and we've already seen videos of that. She still probably needs to, play the company line a little bit. She does have a movie, a DC movie, also done by Warner Brothers, that is coming out, Wonder Woman 1984. And in business and in politics, you never burn your bridges. So I can understand this, but I do see Gal's reaction to that. There's definitely a lot to say there. We already know she has said a lot. She has gone out and tweeted out hashtag release the Snyder Cut. She even says she'd like to see it and things like that. So it's a very sticky situation. But there are those who pointing out that Patty Jenkins is definitely Snyder's friend. We've seen her pictures with Zack Snyder and stuff like that. She even likes an article that Zack Snyder likes, a post implying Joss Whedon exiting back row's good news, and also Gal Gadot's own thing. So there is a lot there. To not be too fishy about, I don't think. And I would like to I just think it's more Patty Jenkins is trying to focus on Wonder Woman 1984. Kind of just being that company person right now, because her movie is being financed and being produced and being distributed by a giant studio named Warner Brothers. And that's all she wants to concentrate on. She wasn't there during Justice League. She wasn't on the Justice League areas, and also maybe even protecting Gal a little bit. She don't want Gal to get too much into trouble with that as well. So there is that. But it does say something that, at these different things, they're with Gal, with the original cast of Justice League, that people are going to get asked, right? The cast members are going to get asked, and I'm actually pretty happy and glad that either it's fans who are getting to meet these individuals, or journalists, or people in general are going to be able to ask these questions of these people during other movies. Yes, it may be like one out of like 10 questions, one out of other nine questions that are related to the movie that they're on, and then you sneak in one question in terms of the Snyder Cut. That happens, and that's part of being a celebrity. I'm sorry, so you're gonna get that ask that question. But I hope the answer that's returned back is in a positive light and in a positive sense, like what has happened with Ben Affleck talking about wanting to release a Snyder Cut, right? And we've said that Sean O'Connell Cinema Blend, and I think I think his name is Michael Reyes, who asked that question. I think there's more to that as well. But that Ben Affleck, he supports Zack Snyder. He'll help whenever he can, and the Snyder Cut should be available. All this had blown out incredibly as more news sites, as more blog sites and stuff like that started getting in on it, and it just makes it much bigger because Ben Affleck is a huge celebrity, a huge star. He outstars Gal, outstars Jason, everybody, right, in terms of his status, right? He's also a director, an Academy Award director, and he's like a big golden boy in Hollywood. So it's great that what he said was able to shed a little bit of light, shed more light onto the matter, and more people got into it. ET Canada, that they got onto it. It became a Twitter moment. And then if you just search up Ben Affleck Snyder Cut, you scroll through, you get IGN talking about it, LRM talking about Yahoo Movies, talking about IGN Southeast Asia, of course, Heroic Hollywood, our own Shiraz Ferrucci at Newsweek. Just the amount of publicity this has stemmed is amazing. The Illuminati, more ET Canada, complex pop culture. Sorry, I skipped that. I think even Rolling Stones talked about it. This is Rolling Stone Brazil. After Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa star and former Batman Ben Affleck again supported the release of Snyder Cut, the supposedly good version of Justice League that was never shared. This is amazing in terms of just keeping it in the mainstream, keeping it in the entertainment news, keeping it relevant, and I think that will speak loudly, hopefully, to get this cut, finally released. So I like to thank you, Ben Affleck, for responding to the question. I think thank Cineblend of sneaking in those questions when you see Ben Affleck. Thanking every journalist who tries to do that actually is great, and having those responses available to the public makes it even better, and spreading this worldwide. But thank you so much for Ben Affleck for supporting the cause, supporting and Zack Snyder, and of course we're gonna kind of in the thank you, and also because your movie looks pretty awesome in the trailer, we're going to go out and support the way back. So next week we're going to start hashtagging the way back, hashtagging the release of Snyder Cut with that, get that both trending up, and hopefully get more people to watch the way back. Ben Affleck's movie with Gavin O'Connor directing, and it looks like it's going to be a big tearjerker, so I probably going to cry in the theaters, but that's fine because he is a phenomenal actor, a phenomenal director, and we should support his new coming journey back into stardom once again. So that is awesome. So that's next week. This week, however, this is coming from Brian Coombe, and I believe I want to make sure I tag the right people. Brian Coombe, thanks to David Gorelli for the idea. We're going to have like a Zackathon. It's already happening. You can come in already. It's just a celebration. You don't really need to, we could try to trend it and stuff like that, but it's just for you to participate. And right here, I'm going to read: the land and the king are one. Drink from the chalice and be reborn. Join us in a week-long film marathon celebrating Zack Snyder's March 1st birthday this weekend. Tweet your favorite quote from that day's film with Zack, hashtag Zackathon, ending of March 1st by trending the release of Snyder Cut hashtag. So yesterday was Dawn of the Dead. Today was 300. Tomorrow, or by the time you see this, would be today, would be Watchmen. So tweet out your favorite quote from Watchmen with the hashtag Zackathon. You can either throw in a hashtag release Snyder Cut if you want to. And then after that will be the Legends of Ga'Hoole, and then Sucker Punch. I was going to say Suicide Squad. Sucker Punch, then Man of Steel, then Batman v Superman, ending on March 1st, his birthday. So it's going to be quite a week. If you want to participate, you're welcome to do so. I probably put maybe like 1 or 2 tweets a day during my work day to try to just to show you the quotes that I feel like it kind of speaks to me, or I remember like right off the bat. So yeah, check it out, try it out. Let's do it. Let's participate. Let's celebrate Zack Snyder's upcoming March 1st birthday. He had this is kind of like our celebrating for him. We're trying to support him, support his movies, and of course support his Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then we'll see what happens with that. So all right, guys, well, that is it for tonight. And once again, if you are even remotely a fan of Power Rangers, I did open my channel up, a new channel called Ping Pong Rangers, and that is all talking about Power Rangers, everything from either Super Sentai, Tokusatsu, but mostly Power Rangers on that channel. So for you who've been here with me, started out with me during the Power Rangers movie, you can go and subscribe to that and watch that if you so please. So, but other than that, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.